Welcome back to our channel. Hi, I'm James, your guide to behavioral economics. Today, we'll talk about availability bias to narrow our behavior gaps. Most of us have heard of the fear of flying phenomenon. Despite being statistically one of the safest modes of transportation, certain people have a fear of flying that is unequal to the actual risks involved. Certain people are more likely to remember and focus on high-profile airplane crashes or other negative incidents that they have heard. This is thought to be due in part to the availability bias. Those people may overestimate the risks of flying and underestimate the risks of driving or other modes of transportation, due to the availability bias. This can have real-world consequences, as individuals who are afraid to fly may avoid air travel altogether, even if it is the most practical or efficient option for their needs. We are constantly bombarded and overwhelmed with information in today's fast-paced world. From social media to news headlines to personal anecdotes, we're exposed to a wide range of ideas and opinions. But how do we know which information to trust and which to disregard? That's where availability bias comes in. Availability bias is a cognitive bias that refers to our tendency to rely on easily accessible information when making judgments or decisions. We tend to overestimate the likelihood of easily remembered events or situations while underestimating the likelihood of less easily remembered events or situations. This occurs when a particular idea or belief becomes widely accepted simply because it is repeated often or more easily accessible than alternative views, regardless of its accuracy or merit. As more people adopt the belief, it becomes increasingly difficult to challenge, and may even be considered as a truth simply because it is widely believed. The availability bias can have significant consequences in areas such as public policy and social norms. For example, if a particular political or social issue becomes highly salient in the media, it may be perceived as more important than other issues that are not as heavily covered. This can lead to policy decisions that are based more on media attention than on actual need or effectiveness. Policy choices can be significantly influenced by media attention. Public opinion can be influenced by the media, which can then put pressure on decision makers to act. The public can hold politicians responsible for their conduct by being informed about government policy by the media. Nonetheless, there are worries that occasionally policy decisions are made based less on rigorous analysis and assessment of the issues and more on media attention. Furthermore, studies have revealed that Americans, who primarily rely on social media for their news, are less informed about a wide range of events and concerns. The media can also affect elections by giving certain candidates or issues disproportionate attention. So how does this bias affect us in our everyday lives? One example is in the realm of finance. We've heard a lot about a number of stock market crashes or companies going bankrupt. The crashes or bankruptcies might cause us be more likely to believe that the stock market is risky or that all companies are at risk of failure. This can lead us to make poor investment decisions based on limited or biased information. Another example is in the realm of social media. Instead of publishing time, social media use algorithms to sort posts in a user's feed based on relevancy. Algorithms aid in the maintenance of order and the ranking of search results and advertisements. Behind the scenes, social media algorithms optimize the user experience without the user being aware that the system is at work. Social media algorithms are designed to show us content that is relevant and engaging, but this can also lead to the availability bias. How might we be affected if we are constantly bombarded with negative news stories? We may start to believe that the world is a dangerous and scary place, even if the reality is much more complex and nuanced. Availability bias can also affect our perceptions of risk and probability. For example, if we've recently heard about a rare or sensational event, events such as a shark attack or a plane crash may cause us to overestimate the likelihood of these events occurring, even if the statistical probability is quite low. So how can we avoid the effects of availability bias? One key is to be aware of the limitations of our own experiences and knowledge. We can seek out diverse sources of information and perspectives, and make a conscious effort to consider both the availability and reliability of the information we're relying on when making decisions. Mindfulness practices can also be helpful in reducing the negative effects of availability bias. By becoming more aware of our own thought patterns and biases, we can learn to recognize when we're relying too heavily on easily accessible information and make more informed decisions. Finally, critical thinking and fact-checking can be powerful tools for avoiding availability bias. We can make informed decisions by questioning assumptions and seeking reliable sources of information. Someday, you'll find yourself relying on easily accessible information. In such a situation, we should remember that availability bias is a natural part of human cognition. Do aware of the effects of availability bias and taking steps to mitigate them. By doing so, you can make better decisions and navigate the complexities of modern life with greater clarity and confidence. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video was useful. We will explore loss aversion in the next episode. So stay tuned and push the notification button.